Arcadiology, episode 23, featuring Xybots. Join us as we uncover artifacts from the arcades. My name is Brad. My co-hosts are Sky.
Hello.
Kyle.
Saw dudes.
And Jordan.
And I'm Jordan.
That's Jordan.
That's Jordan. Sounds like an old 90s sitcom.
Jordan, what are you playing?
What am I playing? You starting with me first. I always go last. Am I starting?
That's so Jordan.
That's so
That
Jordan.
is so Jordan.
Am I Raven now? Wait, are we actually asking me? Am I starting off what are we playing today?
No, we're just kidding. We don't care what you're playing.
That's fair because I don't have a great answer.
Got him.
Well, yeah, before we do get into our game, what have you guys been playing? So Jordan, not playing anything, or what's going on there?
Yeah, not a whole lot. I mean, I do some Pokemon here and there, but currently I am preparing for one of my other insanely nerdy hobbies, and that is it's almost football season, boys. So I am getting all my fantasy football bullshit all ready to go. I will spend weeks and weeks and weeks making my own player rankings, so that's like the main thing I'm kind of working on right now. But since my football season is now over, I'm hoping that means I can get a little bit of extra free time to actually play a bit more games here. So hopefully pretty soon I can have a better answer for you guys.
You guys crushed it this year, didn't you? What was your record there for your football season?
Counting playoffs, man, 12-0. We won the championship, undefeated.
Woo.
We won the championship game 62-28.
Dang.
So kind of laid a bit of a smackdown on him there. So I'm gonna get another nice big bulky ring for my finger.
Nicely
Nice.
done.
Yes, sir.
So, like, for my fantasy football, can I pick Jordan Carruthers or
I wouldn't recommend it.
what? Can I pick you on there?
Depends on what league you're drafting players from. If you're doing NFL players, I wouldn't suggest it. Maybe don't waste that draft pick.
Nah, definitely Ben Jones.
Oh, dude, you love Ben Jones. He's your favorite offensive lineman.
I don't even know who that is, but whatever.
He's an offensive lineman.
Oh,
Scrubs.
okay.
He's Brad's favorite player. I know that.
That's right. Got me some points and what was it, categories? I just threw a random name out there and it was
Yeah,
It ended up being real. I actually knew
that
it.
was highly disputed.
yeah, I don't think I got the points. No one was
That was-
buying it. I
That
didn't
was a
even buy it.
controversial answer there.
If I was there playing with you, I would have given it to you because I knew who that
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, it's a real dude, but B didn't know it at the time when he said it. And so we
Nah.
Googled it, and it's like, oh, it is a real guy.
To be fair, though, he wasn't wrong.
No, he was right technically. It was a technicality.
Give it to him. Give him the point. Yeah, that's about it for me.
All right, Scott, what about you? You playing anything else?
I started playing Dead Cells again a little bit. I took a bit of a break from it, and I jumped back into it. So I just been trying to grind that out pretty much.
How far in are you on that one?
I think I got 3 boss cells completed, and I'm on the 4th, or I'm trying to beat the 4th boss cell. It sucks because starting on the 4th one, you can't really like camp anywhere on platforms and like hide from enemies because now they all just teleport to you if they see you, so you can't hide from anything.
Everything's just super aggressive.
Yeah, they know exactly where you're at. They chase you down like crazy. So I can't sit in my usual spots and try to just like lob whatever flames or grenades at them and stuff. So it's super challenging to try to beat it on the 4th cell. But other than that, and then gaming this week, that's about it.
Well, I probably had to put enough time in if you wanted to do any decent on this week's game. It took a little bit of effort.
Yeah, this one was a grinder a little bit, just to get used to the controls pretty much.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, what about you? Playing anything else?
I've just been sinking more time into the First Ascendant. About the same I was playing last time, but it's just one of those like Destiny style games where it's super grindy, so you got to put a lot of time in. It's like there's always something to find, a new weapon to try to unlock or a new character to get. And they just did an update today, so they have like some of the characters have like an ultimate version that are like basically just beefed up versions of the basic ones. So they've released one of the new ultimate version skin or characters, and then a brand new character altogether. So once we're done with the pod, I'll be hopping back on that, get some more grinding in.
Nice.
That's something they're like constantly updating then?
Yeah, it's a live service, so it'll be constant updates.
All right. Well, for me, I stuck with same game I started on our last episode, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. It's the one that's like Jet Set Radio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, originally I was kind of middling on it, but after playing it and getting a little bit, like I was kind of stuck on a section that was, the game's kind of vague, doesn't really tell you exactly what to do sometimes, so I was kind of stuck somewhere. I was like, all right, I think I'm done with this, but I'm glad I went back to it because I ended up seeing it the whole way through, and it's actually a lot of fun. Because I was originally treating it almost like it was like a Tony Hawk game, but it's really not. It's more like a 3D platformer. So once I kind of engraved that in my brain that I'm not here to do like front side flips on over gaps and stuff, and it kind of changed the way I played the game. But yeah, just I don't know. It has this that old school feel to it where it's the game design doesn't really show you exactly what to do. You gotta kind of just figure it out. You're just kind of like in an open stage, and they give you a little bit of guidance, but I don't know. Something frustrating about it, but I also liked it. I don't know what it was, but it's been pretty fun. For like their soundtrack, they use like real music and stuff. It's not just like custom made for the game, so they have like actual real tracks and stuff from like artists that they put into it. And I thought it was like old stuff, but it's actually some of it's fairly new. But the way they did it, I would have thought it was from like the early 2000s, from the time that the game looks like it's from. It looks like it's like almost like a Dreamcast game. But yeah, anyone that's into Jet Set Radio, if you're waiting for Sega to release the other one, new one that's coming out, I guess sometime soon. I don't know exactly when. Definitely play this if you're interested in that game at all.
It's cool they made it in like an older style like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's still got some like modern like mechanics and stuff to it to make it feel a little better, but it feels like it's from the Dreamcast era, and it feels like it's intentional too. But yeah, some of the stuff in it's just like, I don't know, there's just some funny little one-liners and things they say that something stupid. Like there's this one guy you're like arguing with or whatever. He's like, oh, in a 1v1, you'd lose. Like, oh yeah, is that what you think? 1v1 me then. 1v1 and find out. I was like,
it's like some old
dude.
Call of Duty Halo lobbies.
Yeah. There's just some funny lines in it that keep you laughing. And then for the game that I didn't even expect to care about the story, there's some like twists in the game where I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Then something else happens. I'm like, oh, what is going on here? I'm just jumping around spray painting. There's actually like this crazy plot twist going on that I never saw coming. But yeah, that's Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. It's on, I think, most things. I'm playing it on Steam, but I know it's on Switch and a couple other things. But yep, that's pretty much it for me then. Guys, got anything else before we move into our weekly game here?
I'm ready to dive in.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's talk about Xybots. Released in the arcades in 1987, it's a third-person shooter where you navigate through 3D maze-like stages, trying to find the exit to progress to the next level. There's various enemies you have to avoid or defeat. There's different items scattered around the stage that you can collect. And then in between the stages, there's a shop where you can purchase different upgrades. And I don't know, the closest comparison I can think of for this game would be something like the original Doom or like Wolfenstein 3D, but instead like third person rather than first. That's kind of the visuals, what you're looking at, the way like you navigate around the map. Everything's flat. There's no like elevation or anything like that.
It almost reminds me of, do you remember that old Windows maze? Like the screensaver?
Ah, yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that.
Kind of?
Yeah, it's kind of what it looks like.
I think, is it the Windows thing?
I think I kind of know what you're talking about, but I'm not 100% sure.
Like way back in the day, it was like a maze screensaver. Just kept moving around in a maze, like a 3D maze like that.
Yeah, this game predates Doom and Wolfenstein, so it didn't take anything from them. I don't know if they were inspired by this game at all. I don't know if there's anything else like that before this.
Could have been, for sure.
So this game's the granddaddy.
So do you guys actually know, because of course we're not playing the original arcade cabinet of this, did you guys read how the camera control works on the original arcade cabinet?
Yes.
It's interesting. Sky and Kyle, did you see that as well?
Yep, and I'd rather not play it that way.
Wait, refresh me though, because I do remember seeing it, but I don't remember what it said.
We haven't really gotten into the camera controls yet, but just like a brief idea of what I'm saying here. You turn the camera by turning the joystick.
Like you literally twist the joystick, like grab it with your fingers and twist it rather than like move it.
That doesn't sound fun.
I didn't even know that like cabinets would recognize that as a movement.
It's their own specific thing, I guess.
Yeah, they would have had like a custom kind of joystick for it. Like any joystick isn't going to do it. It's got to be one specifically designed for that. Yeah, we might as well just go on about the controls. So like Jordan said, they're a little weird. They're hard to get used to. And since we didn't play on the original cabinet, obviously, we just had to map our turning buttons to like, I put it on the bumpers, like an Xbox controller type thing, left and right bumper. I think that's the easiest way to navigate it. So yeah, the joystick moves you freely in like all directions, but your character's always facing forward. So to actually turn, you got to press one of those buttons, which originally you'd have to twist the joystick to turn whatever direction you want. So if you want to go right, you got to twist it right or press your right bumper. And I don't know, it was a little weird to get used to. At first, I was like super confused. I didn't know which way I wanted to map it or which way to turn it. But once I got used to it, I don't think it was that bad. Did you guys struggle with it? I mean, initially probably, but how'd you do with it after that?
I mean, and also just to clarify, like this is a full 90-degree turn with just one button press. It's not like you can kind of turn it just a little bit to look a certain direction. It's you're looking one of four directions at all times. So you press that turning button that we mapped, it's turning a full 90 degrees. So it's a very interesting camera. And I kind of tried to avoid doing it as much as possible. If I was in a situation where I was kind of just in a mad dash for the end, I would try my best to not even touch the camera controls and just use the map to kind of try to move forward and backwards and sideways and whatever and just run like hell. Having it mapped to the bumpers like we did, I'm sure is much simpler than turning the joystick on the OG console, I'd imagine, but it's still it's tough to play. As I said, it's definitely a product of what is it, 87, and camera definitely takes some getting used to for sure.
Yeah, I did mostly like, obviously I would turn it. I put it to the bumpers as well, and I would turn it like when I knew there was enemies like that I was gonna have to fight around the corner. But like, you know, sometimes you'll like clear half the map, then you might have to backtrack to get something or whatever. And so if I would just look at the mini map, and if there were no enemies, I would just wouldn't turn the camera, just run backwards and sideways until like you get close to where the enemies are. Even like you still got used to like actually turning it, and that wasn't a big deal. But like just overall playing the game with that style was like disorienting the entire time. Like trying to figure out like where you are, and then looking up at the mini map, and then like looking back down, and then turning, and then on the mini map your arrow turns. It was like a whole mini game in itself.
Yeah, I think I would have preferred the map turn along with you every time you hit the button.
That's what I was thinking.
Because it sometimes does get confusing. Like especially if you run down a hallway and you don't see an enemy, and then maybe one appears behind you, so I hurry up and like panic spam it and spin around and try to shoot him. By the time I do that and I'm dodging, I'm like, all right, where am I at now? Like I'm confused. I have no idea where I'm at in the map. I'm like running forward with my arrows pointing to the right or something weird. Like I'm like, hold on. Like there's been quite a few times where I'd sit there for like 5 or 10 seconds and just look at the map and find out like which way I'm facing.
Yeah, the map can be really confusing.
Yeah, the turning itself wasn't that bad. Once you get used to it after a couple plays, like it was just like second nature. That wasn't really a problem.
Yeah, just that in combination with trying to navigate through the map, which I think, like you said, with it gets disorienting which way you're trying to go. Sometimes I would just not even look at my character. I would just be staring at the map and like playing as the arrow moving across the map.
Yeah, I did that quite a few times.
You have to sometimes.
Before we get much further, we should explain what we're talking about with the map, because the screen is also kind of funky because it's divided into 3 sections.
I like
the whole
it.
top half of your screen it shows your map, your health, your inventory, all that stuff. And the bottom half of the screen is split into 2. So one on the left side for one player, and then if you're playing 2 players, the other character's on the right. But even if you're only playing 1 player, you only get 1/4 of the screen to play. So it's a little weird, but I don't know, once you get used to it, it's not bad. But you're only playing on like 1/4 of the screen for the actual gameplay.
Yeah, I was confused at first by that. I thought like I was doing something wrong, or I went into a setting that I shouldn't have been in or something. I was like, I'm just one guy. Why is there a second thing over here blocking half my screen?
Jordan, you said you liked the way it was set up?
Yeah, I think it's kind of neat. I mean, obviously it's not super ideal having your main game screen take up only like 1/4 of the screen. But I don't know. I just think it's kind of neat how it's got that little. It's kind of separated into like you got your map here and you have all your statistics here, and I can't really fully explain it. I just think I don't know. I think it's kind of neat the way that they did it. And I mean, the gameplay itself doesn't need a giant screen. Like it still works, even just being in the bottom corner of the screen.
Yeah, that's true.
But would you not prefer, if you're playing just one player, for you to get the whole bottom half?
I mean, I guess it'd give you a nice view if it was wider, but
like, there's no way you want that second thing there.
No, yeah, the other bottom corner does kind of get in the way if nobody else is playing, I guess. But at the same time, would it look funky if it was like the entire bottom of the screen and it's just like a giant rectangle rather than
like
the square?
Stretched out.
Yeah.
If it was just stretched, I guess it's kind of pointless. But it gave you like more like field of view. That'd be kind of cool. So you can kind of see.
Yeah.
I don't know the way the game's set up. I don't know if it would even be possible, but yeah, it's just a small section you're playing on. It's nothing wrong with it. Just a little weird looking.
This could have easily be like a DS game. Like that would definitely make use of like those
Yeah,
screens.
that'd be kind of cool.
I could see that coming out like this year. Someone puts like a retro game like this out on the DS or something.
I don't think the DS is getting anything new anytime soon.
Nah. It looks like it could have been.
Well, one of the things included in the top half of your screen is your energy bar, and it acts as your life and a timer at the same time. So it's just slowly trickling away. If you're just standing there, it's going to drain. It starts at 100%. It'll just, I don't know exactly, maybe like every second it goes down one. But also, if you get shot, you take damage, and it drops it by, I believe, 10%. I don't know if there's any variation on that, but initially I noticed you take 10% damage every time. So what else did we play? Was it Outzone? It was like that. Your energy was also your timer, or what? I think it was Outzone. I can't remember, but
I think Outzone was just. I think the energy was separate. Like if you got shot, you just died.
oh yeah, you're just one shot.
But you did have like you had to pick up energy tanks and all that.
Yeah, because if you ran out of energy, you would lose a life. It was separate, but you still kind of needed the energy. It was the timer, but it was just worded as energy essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can refill your energy by finding these little I don't even know what they are. There's these little orange things you find around the map that either give you like half or it'll fully heal your energy. And there's other things you can buy in the shop that increase it, like change the maximum amount or just refill it. But yeah, the energy wasn't too bad. It was a little. Sometimes I've died like literally a step in front of one of the refills, and your character just falls over dead right in front of it. That caught me a few times. It was super annoying.
Been there.
Yeah, that got me once, dude. When I was like beeline, I looked at my energy, seen it was low. I was like, okay, I just have to book it to get to an energy thing, and I got all the way to it, and then right in front of it, timed out.
Well, other than that, you also, for your controls, you have one button to shoot. You always shoot straight ahead of you. So you can kind of strafe around to line up your shots to hit the enemies. Because I always said you have a lot of movement, but you're always facing forward unless you hit the rotate button. Then you change your direction, but your shooting is lined up with your character. So it's always shooting straight ahead of him. And then there's also, if you press, I don't know if you guys use the zapper. If you press the button that would normally like use another credit to continue, it takes 10% of your energy, but it freezes the enemies on the screen for like a small period of time.
I knew about it, but I never used it.
Yeah, I think I pressed it on accident, and I wasn't really sure what it did, so I pressed it a couple more times, and I think I just killed myself.
Oh no!
And then I never touched it again after that.
Yeah, it seems like there's no delay. You can just spam it and like kill yourself real
Yeah.
quick if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I never use that either. I hate losing the energy for it.
There were definitely moments where the screen was like filled of enemies, and I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna make it the whole way across here, only taking one hit, because that's equivalent to use the zapper is only 10%, which is how much you take if you get hit." So I was like, "All right, it's probably worth the trade-off if I can just hit this, run like 6 squares away, grab the energy refill, and then I'm back to 100%." So I definitely utilized it occasionally, but it definitely wasn't a go-to move.
I just keep running down the hallway, just trying to juke left and right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, I spent a lot of time just saying screw it and just bull rushing to the end, just kind of going diagonal, juking.
Some of them levels, man, it's hard to collect everything on some of them. They're pretty big.
I gave up on that pretty early.
A lot of the times, I just skip a whole level and just run to the end of it sometimes.
Oh, I did that a lot near the end, in like the whole second half.
Yeah, some of the stages were not worth navigating. You're gonna lose more than you get from trying to like clear it all. This one map I remember, if you just like walk straight, you'll get straight to the exit and nothing will even like hit you. But there's like all kinds of stuff around. It's tempting to like navigate through the whole map, but it's not ever worth it. I didn't feel like on something like that.
And plus the maps are also like randomized. Like I think I don't know if is it level 7 or 8. Actually, it might be. I don't know if they randomize every one, but I know every time I got to level 7, like it was always a different map.
Yeah, I don't know when exactly it starts, but I noticed that as well. Like between playing a few times, between watching videos, it does seem like it kind of gives you like a few different options of a map that you can end up with.
I would just hope for a good level 7 map so I can just be like, take a little break, stock up.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's when it started, like around 7 or 8. Like the regular first base stages that you can skip past with some of like the warps. Those seem to always be the same that I noticed, and then once you get up to like 7, that's when I feel the game actually like really starts. They're done messing around. It's gonna get a little crazy from there on.
Yeah.
I feel like this game could have used like a dodge roll or something, because sometimes whenever you poke out around a corner, whenever you get further, the enemies shoot so fast. It's like as soon as you step out, you're gonna get hit. I wish there was like a little dash or something like that to implement, so you can like strategize a little better.
That's asking a lot of Atari in 1987.
There were definitely some cheap hits though, man. Like you come stepping around that corner and the guy's just in your face, immediately shoots you.
I think I found it was easier to be on the right side and lure them to the left. Seems like anytime I try to go left or right, they'd sometimes hit me.
Yeah, because it's almost, I don't know if it's just visually, but it looks like your bullets come more to the right of your character than the left. So it's like, I don't know, you got to circle around them. It's like,
Seems like it just depends. Like if you're right in the middle of the screen, your shot goes straight forward, and then if you are a little too far to the left or too far to the right, then it starts getting a little funky, and the bullet almost kind of goes at like a diagonal line inward toward the middle. So it can be kind of tough to aim if you're not right in the middle of the screen.
You gotta actually lead your shots too.
yeah, they travel kind of slow initially. So you definitely got to pace it out and like line up where the enemy's going to be rather than where they currently are if they're further away. All right, let's get into some of the actual stages. I mean, like we said, the stages are just giant mazes pretty much, and it's unclear how many stages there actually are. Did anyone find out? I mean, I tried looking it up. I could not figure it out. It seems like it goes forever, but I haven't really seen anyone get to the if there's a clear ending of the game.
There's multiple versions of the game, like the arcade. There's like an Atari Lynx version. Probably a couple different ones, but the one version I was reading, I swear, like the levels went into like the multiple hundreds. So I don't know if one of them or all of them just do that. If it's just an infinite game.
I know one of them is 50. I don't know which version though. But yeah, I think the arcade one might just go on forever.
But I know after level 15, I believe that's kind of where we stopped at since it
Yeah.
repeats.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's still like unique stages, but that's when you fight the first boss.
Yeah, that he's kind of like the goal of each round you go through to get to him and beat him.
I made it all the way to the last thing, level 1000.
Marathon
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
He's still playing.
One credit.
Oh, you can get more credits? Cool.
I know starting at level 20, I mean, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead of myself. At level 20, you start to like lose your map and everything's dark. So that was kind of weird.
Okay. I've seen some stages like that. I didn't realize it was specifically on level 20.
Yeah, I think that's when it starts. I don't know if it's like that from 20 till whenever you decide to stop, or if it's just certain levels.
Yeah, like we said, the first 14 stages are just the regular maze-like ones. Then the 15th is when you fight the first boss, the Master Xybot. And then after that, it's every 10 stages, I believe. So like 25, 35, 45 is when you fight the boss again. So like after you get the first one, it's every 10, then you fight another boss. And they're a little bit different. It seems like they changed up the pattern for the actual boss fight. Well, I guess we'll get into the boss in a little bit. So, and on the stages, initially you get a map for free, which it shows you where all the walls are at, all the enemies, and everything like that. Which, as we explained, is a little bit hard to follow and keep track of. Once you get further, they don't give it to you for free, and as hard as the map is to follow, you really miss it if you don't have it. Did you guys enter any of the stages without a map?
Never.
No, I always bought one.
Because I did try it once. I thought, maybe I can skip out and I'll just find my way. No, I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, you had to keep the map, dude. The map and the enemies.
That's something I made sure because I played the game before everyone, as always. So I was like, all right, guys, you don't want to go through any of this without a map. I was just making sure you guys followed my advice because it's pretty rough without it. Because the first time I played through it, I didn't even understand what like each of the map things did because there's like 3 different mappers. There's one that gives you the walls so you can actually see the layout of the stage, and the other one maps the enemies on the stage. Plus, if you get that one, it actually shows you where the exit's at, and that's just as important as knowing where the walls are. Then the third one, I think it maps like a different type of enemies, but I'd never wasted coins on that one.
No, I always just got the 2 most basic things.
I would get the third one if I could afford it, because the third one mapped out the defenders, they called them. And defenders, I think, were like the big, like, almost like the humanoid looking robots, because they won't show up as if you just get like the regular enemy ones. And like at first they were catching me off guard because I didn't know that, and I bought like the map, and then I bought the enemy reveal, and I'm like looking at the mini map as I was running around, and all of a sudden I'd like get shot. I'm like, there's no enemies here, and then but it was actually one of the defenders that don't show up unless you specifically buy them.
Yeah, I'd try to get that if I could. But if not, I'd definitely at least get the normal enemies in the map.
Yeah, that's really all I focused on. As far as the shop goes, I mean, I pretty much tried to get all of the armor upgrades right away. And then from there on, it was pretty much just always getting the 2 most basic maps for each level, and I would try to also get, what was it, the slower moving energy. And those were pretty much, for the most part, the only things I really focused on.
Yeah. If you can end a level with at least 4 coins, like you're pretty good for the next one.
Yeah, I would try to find at least 1 or 2 during the stage and move on.
I always made sure I had at least two. Two was the minimum amount I would be okay with. If I was gonna complete a stage, I got to the end and I only had 1 coin, I would just die on purpose because there's no way I'm gonna do the next stage without a map. It's just super frustrating.
I'm
No,
curious
I
to see
agree.
how far we get if we don't buy anything.
Yeah.
I want to see
That's
what that
okay.
looks like.
That's okay.
I might get wrecked on level 2 or something.
Yeah, stages felt a little stingy giving out coins sometimes. I feel like I could barely have enough just to, function with what I actually needed. Unless you're gonna like farm the maps completely, but that was a little too risky.
If for as much running around and time you spend in the stage, I'd expect to look up and see like 19 coins. I look up and it's
Yeah.
like 3. I'm like, oh, okay. All that work, I got 3 coins. Like I can almost buy some lunch here. Cool.
Now, one thing I definitely did take advantage of, which was something that Brad told us to do, was I guess what you get 1 coin to start the game for every token you put in the game. So you said the max it let you do was 25 tokens. So I put 25 tokens in right off the bat, got 25 coins to start with. So that
Yep.
helped a lot because then I could pretty much just buy the better shield upgrades right away at the beginning and then just worry about the other basic stuff like the maps and whatnot from there on out.
It was nice doing that, and then right in level 1, you take that warp to 7, and it takes you up to like 49 coins, I think, or 48
Yep,
coins.
yeah, something like that. That's exactly what I did too.
I didn't see any warper, dude. I went through every stage.
Oh
Oh,
no!
Dang.
You didn't take the level 1, the little door on the side. There's like a keyhole that you walk through.
Nope.
Oh, bro.
Dang,
That's
dude.
rough. I mean, they're pretty easy in the beginning. Like the first 6 aren't that bad. It just would have saved you time if you took that shortcut.
Yeah, there's one on stage 1, which takes you to stage 7, and then there's another warp on stage 4 that also takes you to stage 7. I prefer the one on stage 4. The first one gave you you were up to like 49 coins after you warped, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Whenever you do the one on stage 4, I had every coin spent, so my initial 25, everything used. I hit that one, it gave me 37 coins from going from stage 4 to stage
Ah,
7.
so
So
you
you
made
get a
out with
ton.
more.
I tried that
Yeah.
one time and only got like 12.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there seems to be a lot of randomness to this game, or at least ways to control things that we just don't understand, that we don't quite know.
Hmm.
Because
I
you
feel
said that, and I was like,
that'd
I'll
be
give that a
consistent.
shot. And yeah, because like you said that, you're like, yeah, I recommend doing the warp on level 4. I did it and got 12 coins. I'm like, that doesn't seem worth it. Like, screw that. I'm going right from 1 to 7.
Yeah, at that point, you're better off just walking the stages if it only gives you 12. Maybe it was the
Right.
amount of points I got at that time. I'm not too sure.
It's got to be based on something.
I think every 25,000 you get 3 coins or something like that.
Right, yeah, every 25. But yeah, I don't maybe it's also the version you played. Scott, you didn't try the stage 4 warp?
I did. I don't remember how many coins I got for it. Even if it was more, I would rather play 3 less levels and just skip from level 1.
Yeah, I
Personally,
guess.
I'll give up the extra coins just to get there a little bit faster.
Those first 3 stages are so easy that it's barely even any effort, I thought. And after every single stage, you get to go to the shop, which we briefly talked about. There's some permanent items, and then there's some limited items. So, like the permanent ones, you can like upgrade your movement speed, your shot power, how fast your bullets move, and then you can upgrade your zapper, the one that freezes enemies. And then there's some limited ones, which are like the maps that map out the walls, the enemies. You can slow your energy drain. Those ones all consume. So after one stage, they're gone. So you have to buy them every single time. But the nice thing was, if you die in a stage, you still get all your power ups. It doesn't wipe them out, so you don't have to like reuse it. If you have the map at the beginning and you lose a stage, you still get to keep it. So at least they were a little generous with that.
If they wiped all those out every death, I'm not sure how far I would have gotten in this. I might have given up.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
That would be insanely rough.
Did any of you have a? Jordan said he went with like the defensive one. Did you guys upgrade like your movement speed or anything like that? There was a one you preferred?
Yeah, I think I got movement speed like 3 or 4 times, and I got defense like 3 times.
Definitely defense seems to be like the most important one. And then I'd go with defense and shot power. And then if I had the money for it, I would get like at least 1 move speed. But usually after that, I didn't have enough for any permanent stuff because I had to keep up with all the little temporary buffs.
I went right after stage 1 with like my big pot of intro coins, and I got my movement speed to 3, like right away. It's super expensive, but then you're like cruising around the stages. So when you need to like evade stuff or dodge enemies, you can kind of scoot right past them without them even catching you.
Yeah, I think I got one of the speed upgrades and whatnot, but I was mostly focused on the shields.
And it was hard to tell because your energy is constantly ticking down, but I tried to figure it out. I think the shield, you can go up to 4 upgrades on it. I believe every time you upgrade it, it just reduces your damage by 1. So if you have it at a 4, you only take 6 damage instead of 10 from a shot. That's what it looked like.
Ah,
It might have been 5. I couldn't really tell. It was hard to say because the way your energy ticks away. But yeah, I got that, and I got the faster movement. I tried going with the bullet speed, but I got used to like leading my shots. That whenever I upgraded the speed of my bullets, it was hard to shoot the enemies because the way the enemies, some of them move so slow. It's like you're counting on them to run into it rather than trying to shoot them directly down a lane.
yeah, the shot speed sounded like it'd be cool. Once you get so used to just leading the slow bullets, it kind of sets you back a little bit.
Oh, one of the other limited ones was the double shot. That one was actually super good. You start out with that too, like the first couple levels, they give it to you for free. And then once you get rid of it, you can only shoot like one bullet at a time. But if you get the double shot, that thing shreds.
I usually pick that up on the level itself. I never really felt like I had enough coins to buy it, even though it was only 1 coin, I guess. But it's so hard to find coins.
Yeah, I didn't want to spend the money on it, but I did find it like throughout the maps every now and then.
Well, the one you find on the map, it like literally shoots 2 bullets at once. Is that what you guys are talking about? It's like real strong.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the one you pick up on the map. It's like looks like a ray gun.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking of.
The one in the shop functions a little differently. It actually like you can shoot 2 like in a row, so it's like back to back bullets, like right in a line rather than side by side. So you can really spam like down some of the hallways.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I gotcha.
I'm pretty sure I had a triple shot at one point. It was
Triple
fine.
shot.
It was fine. Like the upgraded ones you pick up on the stage, it fire 2 like side by side. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I was shooting 3 of them.
I think that might happen if you pick 2 of those up before the one expires. I think it just adds another bullet.
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
I think I got that before too, and I only got it like 1 time, and I thought it was like a 1 time power up, but I think I grabbed one before it expired and grabbed another one.
Some of the blue barrels on the stage, you guys said you didn't really use the zapper, like the start button. If you use that, it'll break the barrels open, and there's usually always a gun upgrade in it. Have you guys ever messed with that?
No.
Nope, didn't see that.
Yeah, I mean, it usually probably wasn't worth it because your 10 energy's more important than a weapon upgrade normally.
I guess unless you're about to pick up an energy thing and you don't really even need it yet.
Yeah, true.
A little bit of strategy.
Yeah, I tried experimenting with the zapper. Like I just started the game and used all my coins on it, just upgrading the zapper, thinking, well, maybe this might be pretty good because if you can lower the energy cost on it, it might actually be pretty effective. But it does the opposite. When you max it out, instead of it taking 10 energy, it takes 20 energy to use. I was like, dude, what's the point of this?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oof.
That is rough.
It'll like kill some enemies instantly rather than freezing them, but it's costing you 20 energy.
But
And it was,
that's a steep cost.
yeah, I was thinking like if you could get it down to like 5 energy per use, maybe 6 energy, it could actually be a pretty solid strategy. You could just kind of breeze through levels and freeze them, but yeah, the way they did it made it seem completely worthless.
I wonder if you could use that on the boss.
The zapper on him,
Yeah, like will that stop him from shooting at you?
I don't know.
I didn't
That's
try.
Actually,
I never wanted to do it. Energy's so useful when you're on him because you don't know how long it's gonna take.
Yep.
well, we want to talk about that Master Xybot now while we're bringing him up.
Let's do it.
All right, so we set like a soft limit on this game to stage 15 because that's when you fight the first boss. And anyway, obviously it goes much longer than that. We have no idea how far it actually goes. But the first boss fight, it's like a giant robot head in the middle of the screen. He's holding like his 2 laser guns, one in each hand. I thought he was actually pretty cool looking, but in the way like it opens up the screen, because normally the player 2 section is like closed off. It's like blue or something like that, and it says press start. It might be green. Doesn't matter, but it tells us this press start or something like that. But on the boss, it actually it opens it up so you can see like the giant robot holding these like 2 giant laser guns blasting at you. But you have to dodge the bullets that are coming at you, and where he's shooting from, there's 6 slots. They look like these little glowing orange orbs, and you have to shoot right where he's shooting out of when it opens up to shoot. So it's kind of hard to time it, and your movement is limited on that. You're not like free roaming like you are on the regular stages. You can only move horizontally. So you're just going left and right. There's not the full 3D turning, nothing like that. So you're kind of limited to that one section. But he does have a pattern to him if you picked up on it. But what do you guys think of him? You struggle with him? Did everyone make it to him at least?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was a pain in the butt. I've done him more than once, but yeah, we got there.
Yeah, I made it to him. I felt like when I was fighting him, I broke like two of his like circle things, which felt like very quickly. And then for some reason, trying to break the third one took me like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 times as long as it did to break the first two. I don't know what I was doing differently, if I just wasn't hitting it correctly, but it looked like I was doing the same thing I did on the other two, but it just would not break.
I think you just have to line them up really good. Like, you can shoot between two of them and not hit anything sometimes.
Yeah, it must have been off because it took forever.
Yeah, it's pretty precise with the aiming. You can only hit it as soon as it opens up to shoot you. Once it is done shooting, it like seems to close pretty quick. And if you hit it like if you just miss the timing, then it doesn't do anything either.
Kind of got to hang out there and last second dodge one of his shots just to get your shot in there. I don't think he was too hard. Actually, hitting them wasn't, or the pattern itself wasn't too bad. It's pretty much just, there's like a space in the bullets every time, so you're just pretty much going left, middle, right, middle, left, middle. It just keeps doing that back and forth. But it was just like Kyle said, like, you have to be really precise to hit those little dots. If you don't hit them, then you gotta wait for the pattern to go to the other side, then come back and try again. It wasn't really hard, it was just kind of tedious hitting them at the right moment.
Yeah, the first time I got there, I was kind of panicking because I had like 30% energy, and your energy's constantly ticking down. And I didn't figure out the pattern. I just thought it was random at first. So I'm just kind of like running back and forth, spamming my gun, trying to kill him, and I died. And then unfortunately, what happens if you lose in the boss? You go back to stage 11. That's from 15 is the boss. Any other stage in the game, whenever you die on it, it resets the stage completely. All the enemies, all the items are back, but you get to restart at the beginning of that stage specifically. But if you lose in the boss, you go the whole way back to 11. And that one killed me the first time I died on him.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah, I think I timed out on him because I, like you did, I got there with like 20 or 30 energy, and I just ran out of time, and I went back to level 11, I was like, nah, I'm just going to go ahead and restart this.
Yeah.
So I'll probably spend another 5 coins getting back to the guy, so it's not even worth it.
Yeah, I made sure I always bought the double shot there because it made the timing much easier because you can kind of just spam your shot because you can shoot two of them at a time back to back. So it made it a little easier to get that timing to actually hit his whenever they open up.
I think a good thing to do, like if you're low on energy, level 14, if you can, try to end that level with like 5 coins. And then I just buy that energy pod before you fight the boss.
Okay, yeah.
Because you don't need like any of the mappers, the walls. You really don't need to buy any more power-ups unless you have enough for the double shot like you did.
So here's another situation where I don't know if these things are randomized or whatever, but the one time whenever I was playing this and I was about to go into that boss fight, I did not have the energy pods in my shop. I don't know if the shops are also randomized at times or what, but I've had times where I have had the energy pods going into that fight. I've had times where I have not had them. So I don't know what determines almost anything in this game at this rate.
It might be like an energy threshold. Maybe if you're at like 50 or below, it'll put one in the shop for you if you need it.
Oh, I was at like 25.
Oh, yeah, it definitely should have appeared then.
Yeah, and it did not give me the option.
Sometimes it looked like it was like a scrolling list. Like it looks like all the items are in the list, and I can't scroll down any farther. But if I buy something, then something else like replaced it. I don't know if that's what was happening.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
That is, I noticed that too. It'll initially the shop will only show you what you can afford. Like the permanent upgrades are worth 7. So if you come in with 7 coins, it'll show you some of those, like the movement speed, the bullet damage. But if you come in with less than 7, they won't even be listed at all. But yeah, there's like more stuff down the list, but you can't actually scroll to it, and it only comes up if you buy out something or if you use enough coins that it knocks off one of the more expensive ones off the top of your list.
That's
Yeah,
awful.
see, that's what sucks. Like, it makes sense that, like, if you don't have 7 coins, it'll never show things that cost 7. I get that.
Right.
But to, like, say I got 7 coins, but I need that 5 coin energy pod. But in order to get to that, I need to spend a couple to make it appear, and now I don't have enough. Like come on, dude.
That's terrible. I can't believe that's how they do that.
And the one time against the Master Xybot, we didn't bring up this upgrade. It's a limited one. I think it's just called Deflect. It balances like bullets off of you. It'll allow you to take up to 5 hits. Every time you get shot, it bounces back. So I just stood there right in a line as he shot at me. Just took out the first one, moved over, took out the second one. I took out all 5 or 5 of the 6 without him even being able to touch me because his shots would just deflect off of him. And then I had like a ton of energy, so I just like tanked the last one and just stood right in front of it and blasted it.
Hey, nice.
Yeah, you combine that with a double shot, this kid's wrecked.
Where's this dude getting all these coins at?
Me?
Yeah, you.
from that stage
You're
4 warp.
He's buying double shots. He's buying shields. He's getting all kinds of goodies. I'm like, oh man, maybe I can afford an enemy mapper.
Yeah, I mean, this was multiple different playthroughs. They weren't all in the same one, but yeah, the double shot was my go-to for him. If I had the ricochet, which I only had enough to do it one time, but it made it so easy to actually fight him.
I want to just go through and do a full ricochet build.
Yeah.
Just max out.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I don't know if it stacks beyond 5 or not, but
We're gonna do on 3. We're gonna say the worst enemy in the game.
I don't know their names.
I gotta
No,
think of that.
you're just gonna describe what it looks like.
So all 3 of us are just gonna be here spouting off random words at the same time.
Yeah, and well, it's not gonna be different because you're all gonna say the exact same thing for sure.
What if we word it
Let's
differently?
do it.
Hey, we did this last time and it worked, right?
That's true.
Did it?
Have faith, Jordan. Have faith.
We're about to be 2
Okay.
for 2. Let's go.
The worst enemy to fight in Xybots in 3, 2, 1.
Flying
guy
enemy.
that circles around.
Jordan, did you say it? I didn't hear you,
I
Jordan.
was gonna say the little red guy with the armor on the side.
Little red
Nope.
guy, like the
You're
robot,
wrong.
like the guard.
Oh yeah, that's way worse.
What? Bro, them flying
Yeah.
guys sucked. No.
Oh no, I think the ones with the armor and with the armor that like turns and closes and whatnot are way worse.
That's it. Redo it, boys. Jordan, stick to the script. I hate when you improvise.
Jordan, come on.
I'm glad I didn't finish the sentence. You guys
No ad lib.
worry about your little bugs and stuff.
Oh, man.
I didn't have a problem with them. The ones that had like the armor though, you had to like time your shot and it was a pain in the butt.
I thought those guys were so easy. You just stand still.
Yeah,
They
I
were
just move over like an inch, and they move over and run right into the bullet every time.
they were a waste of time just waiting for them to turn the right direction and shit. I didn't have a problem with the flying guys.
Little flying saucer enemies were kind of funny. They'd like pick up the items and run away with them.
Oh yeah, they were kamikazes though. They blow you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that if they hit you, they take like 25 energy.
Yep. If they're in kamikaze mode.
Jeez, I didn't even notice that. I know they come after you, but I didn't realize they took that much more if they blow up on you.
Yep.
So that was kind of annoying. Like, I'd see a power-up or like an energy orb thingy. And like, I didn't have quite enough loss yet, so I was like, I'm going to let that sit there, go down the hallway, do some stuff. And I come back and it's gone. I'm like, where'd my energy tank go? And I see this little dude on the other corridor beside me. He's just like, just taking off with my energy orb. I'm like, dude, I'm about to die. Give me that.
I didn't realize that's what they were doing. I didn't know they were picking up the power-ups and taking them. I thought they just
Yeah.
some of them just carried them.
No, man, they swing by and snake your stuff real quick.
Yeah, they'll grab the energy things. They'll grab the orbs. I think they can even grab the keys like that are laying around. They'll just take anything and move it.
They take your coins.
Little shits.
Well, any other enemies you guys wanted to bring up? We covered most of it, I feel like, but there's not a ton of variety.
That's what I was thinking. Not a whole lot of differences.
Well, I don't know if there's much else in general that I didn't say that I wanted to. Anything else you guys wanted to bring up?
I guess we didn't mention the keys. How that you could pick up some keys that are around the map, and some doors I think were like essential. You almost had to go find a key to unlock the door to like get through the rest of the level. But then some of them weren't. They were just kind of like you could tell there were some items, maybe some coins or something hidden behind a room that you could have to go find a key to open the thing up. And then like there were also like false walls, which I don't know if you guys know of any way to tell exactly what was a false wall or not, or if it was random. You were just shooting walls to break them.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, it just happens sometimes.
I didn't know.
I think just certain levels have a lot more than others, so I know the one level, it's like it seems like half the level's false walls, so once you shoot like a whole row down, you kind of get the idea like, okay, if I step left a couple screens, it's going to be the same deal. All them walls are fake.
I will say by far the worst levels are the ones that have like maybe 3 or 4 keyhole walls leading to the exit. And if you don't already have a bunch of keys, you kind of just have to walk around the map and like the map will show little gray dots every now and then, and that can either be a coin or a key or something like any other power up or whatever. So for those ones that required like 3 keys to get to the exit portal, I'd probably spend 2 or 3 lives at least on kind of just test runs, just seeing which of those gray dots were keys and which weren't. So then whenever I finally figured out where all the keys were, I just gun right for those specific ones and then get the hell out.
Yeah, I don't know which level it was. I think I only played one level where it looks like it was mandatory that you had to unlock like 3 doors to get to the exit. Every other level seems like the key doors are optional to get a coin or something. I'm pretty sure the one level I played, you have to have at least like 3 of them to actually get through.
Yeah, there was a few where you needed at least three. I'd played one level in specific too. I don't know if anybody else got this one, but there was it was a huge map, and there was just a gigantic empty void right in the middle of it. I thought maybe I didn't unlock, like I didn't buy the whole map in the shop or something, but no, there is genuinely just a gigantic, and I mean a massive empty wide open room right in the middle. And that was one where the map was enormous, and I think you needed 3 keys to get to the end. And I probably spent like 3 or 4 tokens on that map alone, just trying to find where these damn keys were and try to make it there without running out of energy. I wish I would have taken a screenshot of that map. It was wild.
Yeah, I mostly saved like all my keys unless I really needed them. Like if I collected some keys, I wouldn't use them at all unless it was required. That way, if I got to a stage that required them, the stage will supply them, but I don't want to have to go looking for them. So I always
Mm-hmm.
had like a couple of keys on hand, so I could just complete the stage instead of having to roam around like that. Because that definitely got a little annoying when you're just trying to figure out the map, which way you're going. Those little asshole saucers move the key that you're
Just
trying to
little
get,
ass.
then there's like a whole pile of enemies there waiting.
I think the worst levels, I don't think we mentioned this yet, some of the levels actually wrap around from left to right.
Yeah, so I was just about to say that.
Those things were
Yeah.
annoying.
I actually kind of like that level.
There's quite a few of them. I know the one I played, like, as soon as you spawn, you can only go forward, and as you go forward, it'll wrap you around to the right side, and you kind of, like, drop down a little bit. You had to, like, just keep walking forward the whole way, like, wrapping the screen around.
I remember one like that.
Yeah, I might have played like a different version, but I remember the one that I got to was actually helpful as far as like when you had to like backtrack if you need to go get some more coins or keys or something. Then like instead of walking all the way back the way I came, I could just take a step forward and wrap back around.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one I played was super well, there were multiple ones, but this one in specific, you had to like wrap around the stage like 4 different times and like go through like these different hallways that were sectioned out because it's like a maze, obviously. And you had to keep going left and right and then like zigzag up and down. I got so confused, I didn't even know where I was going anymore. I would just hold and run and just keep going forward and hope I made it there. Eventually, I got there and I had like no energy left. I was like, I don't care. I just have to get done with this stage.
Dude, I think I played that one, and I was so frustrated. It was so hard to just navigate, too.
Yeah, I tried to like study the map real quick in between using a coin, but I still couldn't. I just couldn't process it. It was so confusing.
Also, why is your guy like his gun just looks like he's carrying a giant desk fan? It looks nothing like a gun.
Because space, man. They do things differently in space.
I guess.
We are in space, right? Are we even in space? I don't even know where this game
I actually
takes
don't think you're in
place.
space.
You might not be. I have no idea.
He has a little fan on the side of it. He puts a sticker, just says, Space Gun.
Space gun.
Yes, the theming in this game almost reminded me of Escape from the Planet of the Robot Monsters. Kind of got that vibe from the
Yeah.
game.
I can see that.
So, have you guys ever heard of an old computer game called Space Quest?
No, I have not.
Nope.
So, I never played it personally, but if you look up some gameplay of Space Quest 5 in specific, this game looks so unbelievably, like almost exactly the same, like in the way the character moves and whatnot, especially whenever you're in the shop, just the way he walks. This looks 100% exactly like they just ripped it right out of Space Quest 5. And the only reason I even know this game, if anybody out there ever wants to watch one of the funniest LPs you've ever seen in your entire life, watch the Game Grumps play Space Quest 5. You will have the greatest time of your life. But it genuinely looks like they just ripped the character from that game and threw him right into this game. Animations and all. It's so similar. It's eerie.
Yeah, but which came first? Was that before 87? Or did Space Quest steal this guy with his little
Let
fan?
me see. I don't know. It's old. Oh, this is 93. So maybe they took it from here. I mean, This is the fifth
Wow.
one though, so I don't know.
Ooh.
They were working their way up to it. I guess maybe they. I don't know who made this. I don't even know who made
There's
it.
only one Xybots, but this is the 5th Space Quest, so
I'm telling you, man.
they've been ripping for a minute.
Watch that LP though. It's so funny.
They tried to steal our space fan, dude.
Not the space fan.
Well, you guys got anything else before we move into the numbers?
I don't think so.
Nah, I think that's about it, dude.
All right, let's do it. I got one quick thing. When we originally started the podcast, we left our credit counts kind of open-ended. If we ever want to go back and increase our score, we could. We just wouldn't update it until we did it on the show. I actually did this like right after we recorded the episode, but I forgot to bring it up. But on Black Tiger, I brought mine down from 25 to 17.
Wow, you played that game
Really?
again?
I played it like immediately after we finished recording. I was like
Ugh.
halfway through it, and I was like, I'm just gonna finish it up, and I improved my score. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna mark that one down.
That's a
Nice, man.
hefty cut.
Yep, nice cut. Gotta make it known.
Not bad. Not bad. Bad game, but not a bad score.
Oh, bad take.
That dig.
Bad take,
Is
but
it
not
a-
a bad game.
Is it bad? It's bad. Didn't we agree it was a pretty bad game?
Yeah, it was
We
alright.
had mixed feelings.
Maybe middle of the road. I don't know. I don't think it was terrible.
Well, let's get back to Xybots
Space Quest
here.
5.
Yeah, Space Quest 5. Space Quest -1. Well, this one's a tricky one to track too, because you can just keep adding credits to continue. So we just made it that how many credits it takes you to get to and beat the first Xybot on stage 15. If everyone got there and beat them, how many credits did it take? Sky, you want to start off?
Yep. I actually did my last final playthrough like minutes before we started up the podcast,
Nice.
and I actually beat my score the very first time I played. I did it in 8 credits, and then I played again yesterday, and it got down to 5. Or no, I'm sorry, 6. And then just before we started, I completed it for my final run, and I did it in 3 credits.
Oh, nice. Jeez.
That's my grand tally.
Calm down.
That is
Woo!
nice, man. Well, yeah, I played through it a couple times as well. I don't remember my initial run because I failed, got knocked back to stage 11, and I just stopped keeping track. But eventually I got through and beat him, and I did it in 5 credits. Then I tried it again, and I got the 5 credits again. It was all right. I guess that's my cap. I'm not beating that, so we're just gonna stop there.
I'm like basically the same as Sky, except I used 12 credits and didn't beat the boss.
That's pretty much the same thing.
Same
But
thing,
yeah, pretty much
What's the difference?
almost identical.
Jordan, what about you?
That's gonna be 10 credits for me, man. And I feel like these random level selections really kind of got the best of me on that run. That one stage I was talking about with the wide, like, freaking endless void in the middle of it. That cost me a lot of tokens. Ended up with 10.
Yeah, understandable.
I'm also curious how far did anyone else? I kept going for a while.
Hell
Past
no.
stage 15? No? You didn't keep going?
No, I was done, dude.
The furthest I made it was stage 35, the third boss.
Wow.
Why?
And, I mean, I lost track of my credits. I just kept on pumping them in and playing just to see how far I could get. I might still be playing if I didn't mess up because I got to stage 34. I wasn't keeping track of the number. And then I had like 60% energy when I entered the boss battle and ended up dying on him. I didn't have enough credits to buy anything. So I got wrecked there. It sent me back to stage 31 without a map. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have to stop there.
The farthest I got was level 20. That's when you start losing the map and it gets dark everywhere. And then I was like, I'm good here.
And just gave up on that. You didn't make it to the second boss.
Nah, I was like, I'm alright.
Yeah, the other bosses are the same thing. It just changes up the pattern. But yeah, I mean, overall, the stages I don't think really get incredibly harder. They're just different. It just cycles through different ones. I did see that
Yeah.
dark stage. It wasn't everyone, but they did cycle in those random dark ones here and there on the way up.
So I just got hit with one of the random pulls then.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like I got a nice run where there was like so many open ones where I could just grab a couple coins, hit the exit, not even like have to fight anything. So I'd get my at least 2 coins to make it through to the next one so I could buy my maps and then just keep on recycling through the next one.
I do have one confession to make.
All right.
I did play a 2-player for like a map and a half.
How'd you do that?
I don't know. Somehow when I started, it just put both players in at the same time.
That's weird. You're controlling both with the same
You
stick.
you control them both. It doesn't really do anything because you control them both with the exact same controls. And since the players are like not in the exact same place, obviously, like you can't be on top of each other, the second player just ends up getting like stuck on a wall somewhere. Like, you know what I mean, just kind of do the whole map and he's like running into a random wall. but he was there.
Oh, actually, I forgot to mention I do have one confession myself here on my 5 credit run. So when I got to the one shop, I didn't have enough credits to buy something, so I entered another coin. I didn't like use it to like continue, but I used it to get an extra coin in the shop.
Oh,
know.
see, I was
Wow,
debating.
dude,
I was
no.
gonna ask you that
I
earlier.
want an
Yeah.
That's
asterisk.
invalid. Last
I
place.
want an
Ooh.
asterisk beside that score. Nuh-uh.
That's dirty. That's dirty,
Okay,
B.
Barry Bonds.
That's fine. I mean, I'll just go to 6. I'm still in second place with 6. I'll take it.
I was gonna ask you if that was a thing or not, because I noticed that if you put another credit, you'll get a coin.
Yeah.
I was like, that's. I was gonna ask you, but I was like, nah, they're probably gonna say that's clearly cheating, so I'm not even gonna do that.
Yep. I boosted my score.
That's how he bought all them upgrades.
Yeah. Dude, if they could have let you put more than 25, I would have had like 6,000 credits. I would have just bought everything out.
Oh my god.
Lucky they capped me.
This dude's over here with the shields and move speed, the shot power, the fire speed. How'd he do all that?
I couldn't like utilize it because like when I started it with 2 players, like once the other player died, like I found out how to like not get him back into the game. But I think I made it to like the first like shop or whatever with both players, and I didn't have a lot of time. But I'm pretty sure on the other player, like when you have 2 people there, you have a choice to like trade things. Like I think the one guy could have like given keys to the other guy or something like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think there was some sort of interaction if you had 2 players.
All right, next time we got the arcade machine out, boys. We got a 2-player of this.
Yeah. This one would be fun.
We've been saying since the start of this podcast we're on a 2-player all these games, and we haven't done.
Hey, we've done a couple.
Like 2 of them. Like 2 of them.
No, we did Squawkers. We did Alien Syndrome, Outzone. What else did we do?
Yeah.
I guess we did
3.
do WrestleFest too.
He said 3.
At least 3 of them. 3 of the ones that are worth it. Not every
That's
game.
it, boys. We're gonna have a
worth
game
playing
night
it.
specifically just for this, just to do this, just the games we played.
Not every
Yeah.
game we played was worth actually going back again with 2 players.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, let's keep this moving. Let's move into our personal ratings. I went with 25,000. As Scott mentioned earlier, once you get 25,000 score, you get an extra 3 coins. So that's what we're going to rate it out of. Sky, you want to go first on your rating as well?
Oh, let's see here. That is a hard number to wrap my head around right now.
Just go 250, add some zeros, or 25, add some zeros, whatever's easier to think about.
I'll give it maybe let's go with like an 18, I think sounds alright. Not too bad. A little over 50%. What's that, like 60, 70%?
18,000?
18,000, yeah. It was a decent game, wasn't bad. It's just a lot of that randomness, like Jordan says too, like he got put in that giant map with like nothing, he had no idea what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just get screwed by that randomness real bad. And you can figure the levels out after a little while, but you never know which one you're going to get, and that can really throw you off. But the game itself wasn't super hard, it was just running out of the energy. The real battle was with the energy, pretty much, just the timer itself. Yeah, other than that, it wasn't too bad, it was pretty cool.
All right. Jordan, you got your rating?
Yeah, so it's definitely gonna lose some points. A, for the randomness, as Sky said. I wish we had a bit more control over the kind of map we're gonna end up with. If I knew I was gonna end up with that one really, really bad one, maybe I would have tried something different. I don't know. That's the problem though. What would I have done different? I have no idea. I don't know what controls this. Loses some points for being fairly repetitive-ish. I mean, the maps change enough to make it okay, but you are still technically kind of doing the same thing over and over again. And control-wise, as I said earlier, it's very much a product of its time. Like, you can tell this game is straight out of the 80s, maybe you'd say 90s, but as I've done with games in the past, though, it's going to get a little bit of a boost for being more unique. It's definitely, we have not played any other games that look or play like this, so I give credit where credit's due for being a little different. So my score, write this down, Brad, 13,983.
You got it.
My man.
And Kyle, what's your rating?
I'm going to slap this one with a 15,000.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. The enemies there's a decent little variance of enemies. They did some cool little things like the robot picking up your power-ups and moving them around, and I don't know. I mean, the shop is a nice little touch that you could actually go in and spend your coins and buy things depending on how you wanted to play it. I mean, even the controls weren't awful, but I think just like the whole way that the game played of like having to be looking down at this like little quarter of a screen, but also looking up at the top for your map to like navigate yourself while also like turning your entire screen 90 degrees every time. Like the whole time I was just like disoriented. So I don't know. I mean, I definitely like I made it to the boss, died on him, and immediately was just done. Like it wasn't like that bad, but I was just like, I'm just not doing this again.
No.
So, yeah, for sure would never play it again. Unless we were doing it in like 2 players for fun, maybe. But yeah, nothing crazy for me, dude.
Thought I'd expect a little more from you. This is like, I feel like I'm playing some Halo. You're strafing around, doing some double shots down the hallway, leading your shots, taking out the enemies. You weren't feeling it?
I was not playing Halo, dude.
Are you sure?
I'm almost positive.
Almost.
All right, well, I'm going with 20,503. I really like this game. It was a little challenging, a little tricky at first. I mean, I feel like your first run through, if you have no prior knowledge, you're not really gonna have a good time because as soon as you don't have a map, it's game over. You don't even know what's going on or why all of a sudden your map's gone or what you actually need to find what purchases are actually necessary to really beat the game. But I don't know. I feel like that's just how some arcade games are, so I don't think it's that much of a negative. But yeah, once you get used to it, I thought it was really fun. Just once you figure out what you need and where to go in the stages and how to navigate them, I had some fun with it. I think the boss fight could have been a little better. Just kind of like how the stages are all 3D, then it just locks you into like side-scrolling left and right. I didn't think it was as fun. I wish they would have did something cool, like I don't know, run around the stage fighting a giant boss or something like that would have been more fun. But overall, it was a pretty fun game. I enjoyed it.
I felt like Captain Jack Sparrow. The map's gone. Why is the map gone?
Oh my god.
All right, let's put this one in our rankings. We'll add it to our list of all the games we played. We never really discussed specifically how you guys individually think about this, but how are you guys ranking these? Are you doing it personally, like how you liked it, or if you play it again, or if you're doing it like without bias, just like in a vacuum if it's a good game? Do you factor in like the music, graphics, anything else? Or are you guys just going off a feel?
I mean, it's just a very general thing. I don't really overthink it.
Oh, I overthink it.
I mean, I do a little bit of a vacuum, but like I do a vacuum, but then I also, after I've done that, I look at the list and then I sort of judge it by like, like even if it's a totally different game than something else, I'll look and be like, well, there's no way that it's going above, this game, no matter how good it was for its thing.
Yeah, I try not to have like too much of like a personal bias on it. Some games that's gonna probably come through more than others.
Right.
But I think of that like if I like it, and then also like if it's a good game in general, if like other people would actually play it. So I don't know. I try to do a little bit of everything.
All right, well, that's fair. So, that being said, you guys got a decent idea of where you think it might go on our list?
Me personally, I'm thinking at least close to top 10 somewhere, maybe top 12.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't think you were going to go that high.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm honestly up there. I'm honestly probably a little higher, but I'll let Kyle and Jordan weigh in.
I was lower.
I'm thinking mine's a little lower too. I think I would probably. Oh, it's tough. This is like a pretty close to Dead Connection.
Yeah, I was kind of like maybe it was like a spot below, like 15 to 18-ish.
Oh, that's
man.
I hardly
Down
disagree
there.
with that. Oh,
I don't know how. This game feels like a game from 1987.
Yeah, I was in the 7 to 10 range myself.
Dead Connection was a million times more repetitive than this game was.
Oh, yeah. Had a no variety to it.
I don't think it was at all.
Oh man, I don't know how you get that comparison. Honestly,
At least we got story in Dead Connection, and the maps were significantly. I don't know. It depends on how you define different maps. I mean, I think this game's way more repetitive.
I mean, story was cool. This game had way more actual skillful
Yeah,
gameplay.
but Dead Connection had Paul.
Nobody knows who he was either.
Was that even his name? I feel like
I
wasn't
forget
his
every
name.
single name. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right.
See, none of us even know
It was
his
like
name.
Gary or something.
Pretty sure it's Paul.
Nah, man, I don't see this being under Dead Connection at all. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm in the 7 to 10 range personally.
That's what I was thinking. Somewhere top 10,
Crazy.
or maybe if we had to, around like 11 or 12.
Yeah, I mean, I think Shadow Force was better than this.
Oh,
I like Shadow Force more
He
too.
said, "Oh."
Oh,
So it looks like me, B, are on different side of this than Kyle and Jordan are.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, this game was so basic. I mean, however much fun you may have had, you were literally just walking down a maze that looked the same as every other map, shooting the same 3 enemies.
And the controls are just unbearable.
That was Dead Connection to me. Like, there was zero variance in anything in that game.
yeah.
I think the stages were more unique in that one than they are in this. This is literally just you're in a labyrinth.
Yeah, but what good's a different looking stage if you do the same thing every time?
That's
You
what
do
you're
the
doing
same thing in
this.
Xybots.
Yeah, that's what you're doing in this.
I mean, the randomness sucks, but that does change it up. You get different little maps to explore.
Don't try to act like the randomness is a good part of this game.
You
different
get to
enemies.
choose how you want to do your build, different weapon upgrades, different personal upgrades.
You don't even have to fight stuff. You can just run to the end if you want.
There's actually a real boss rather than just stronger, lame enemies.
I mean, the real boss is you're just taking 2 steps back and forth and shooting.
Okay, Dead Connection, you just stand still and three guys just run at you until they die.
Till you die, they're gonna get you. You do that.
I can't see it under Dead Connection. I can understand you guys don't like it as high as I'm liking it, but I can't go under Dead Connection.
All right, then
No
it goes
way.
one above Dead Connection. It's like the same gameplay loop.
Man, I was pushing for at least 11 between Cross Swords and Shadow Force.
I'd do 12.
So I could have went on board with that.
12 down under Shadow Force?
Yeah,
12. Yeah, fuck. I mean, I could do 12.
I don't like it, but like at least then it's
Ugh.
behind a game that me and Kyle liked.
I'm struggling with this one. I don't like it under Shadow Force.
I don't either, but
I was not coming into this expecting you guys to like this game at all.
you sounded a little more positive in the game discussion than you are now, to be honest.
It's not that it's not terrible, but up and that high, just like I said, I was like, I don't know, 15 through 18. That it's low, but it's not the worst game we've played. But my God, I don't think it's going above some of these other games.
I mean, it's not my favorite game, but I look at some of his other games that are going above it. I'm like, I'd probably rather play this over that game at least.
I mean, yeah, the list isn't like perfect. Like, obviously, I think that this is better than Joe and Mac, but like somehow Joe and Mac is in ninth, so I'm not sure what to do about it.
Hands are tied, man.
I don't know how I
Oh,
feel about
jeez.
this compared to Cross Swords. They both kind of just feel like they never end.
But that one actually does. This one doesn't, apparently.
I'm glad we ended this one at 15.
I think I could settle for under Shadow Force, unfortunately, but if we put it in on 12, Sky doesn't like it. I don't really like it, but it's not my favorite game, so I'm not going to fight all night for it, you know?
Yeah, I could probably settle for that. I'm not happy about it, but I could probably settle for it.
Is there anything else higher up that you want to move below it? Is there anything we should discuss?
Oh, we can't rearrange the whole list right now.
No.
When do we rearrange the whole list? We have to set aside a whole episode for that?
That's on the
Oh
Patreon.
no, that might be a bad idea.
We'll be fighting by the end of it. We won't even be friends anymore.
Might not even be brothers after that. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's tough to pull off.
All right, then we're going to argue with this going at 12. We're going to fight for higher or lower, or are we going to go with that?
I'm not gonna argue it. I just feel bad. 'Cause I know you guys are pissed.
I mean, you guys compromised. You guys came down a couple notches, and Jordan and I came up a couple, so it seems fair to me.
Yeah, I think we met in the middle there. I think that's all right.
All right, that works for me then. We can lock it in on 12. We have Shadow Force at 11, Xybots at 12, Twin Bee, Yahoo! At 13. And that is it for the numbers. Jordan, you got some trivia for us?
I mean, if I have to, I guess.
It's your job, man. You got to.
It is my job. How much you paying me? Better. I want to raise.
2 credits.
Oh, dude, deal. Okay, boys. Xybots trivia. Right now, the total scores. Sky's leading the way with 45. Brad has 34. Kyle has 31. Just a little bit behind Brad there. Question number 1. What was the development name for Xybots before it was completed? A. Sci-Fi Bots. B. Robots. Or C. Spacebots.
I'm just gonna say sci-fi bots.
Okay.
I'm going to go with B, Roblox.
Okay.
I think I'm taking A.
Going A. That was
Sure.
Sci-Fi Bots. All right. Correct answer is B. Robox.
Nice.
On to question number 2. Xybots was originally going to be a new game in what series before Atari decided they wanted to make it a sci-fi game instead? A. Gauntlet. B. Fire Beast. C. Battlezone.
Only one of those games I even know is Gauntlet, so we'll just go with that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only one I know, but Gauntlet's so much different than this, so I have no idea. Just go with Battlezone.
Okay.
Yeah, wait, what was what was letter C?
Battlezone.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
All right. The correct answer is A. Gauntlet.
Oof.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it
dude.
was Gauntlet.
What?
Yeah, apparently this game is some sort of spiritual successor to Gauntlet from what I've read.
I don't
That's
see that.
weird.
That's weird.
Yeah, I'll have to look more into that later, but that's what I read.
It's interesting.
Anyway, wrapping it up with question number 3. At the top of the screen, you see that your character's name is Rock. What is Rock's last name? A. Gun. B. Powers. C. Hardy.
What was the last one? Party?
Hardy with an H.
We'll go Rock Hardy. Sounds good.
Okay.
That does sound good. I'm going.
That does, right?
That's legit, man. We're going with Hardy.
I can tell you you're both right, and I'm also going rock hardy.
You boys know what you're talking about because this man is rock hardy out there. The correct answer is C. Rock hardy.
What a name.
You know, they were originally going to name him. Well, never mind.
Now, wait, I got a bonus question for you guys.
Oh no.
What was player 2's name?
Oh, I know it already.
I think I know it. Pretty sure is that Ace Gun?
Yes, it's
That's
Ace Gun.
captain to you.
Captain
Wow,
Ace
dude.
Gun. Gotcha.
Get out of here.
It's Major Rock Hardy and Captain Ace Gun.
Ace Gun. Major Rock Hardy, dude.
Oh my, what a name.
So that's the way Brad feels about this game.
That's right. Rock hard on Xybots, boys.
If you guys didn't know, Major Rock Hardy's hiding in the closet with old Willie from Bucky O'Hare.
Oh my god. Dude. Oh jeez. Wow.
Gotta keep bringing that reference up again anytime I can. All right, that's all for me. Brad, you got 3 correct. You're at 37. Sky got 1. You're at 46. Kyle got 1. 32. That's it for trivia.
Well, that wraps up this one. The next game we'll be playing is The Punisher. You can follow us on social media everywhere at Arcadiology, pretty much everything. We'd appreciate it if you could leave us a 5-star. Yeah, that too. Whatever that means, we would do that.
I'd appreciate that a whole lot.
Persha made it.
So, as I said, we would appreciate if you would leave us a 5-star review and a rating on the podcast. Or if you have any questions, comments, feedback, you can send it to arcadiologyquestions@gmail.com, or you can fill out the form in the description. There will be a Google form there. Send in whatever you want, and we will read it. So, that's a wrap for this one, boys. Let's get out of here.
Later, dudes.
See ya.
Later, dudes.
Hey, it doesn't matter. We know we'll just cut this and it'll go right into the next question like nothing ever happened.
That's fair. Let me just find that.
Yeah, we'll cut this part out so you don't look like a complete dumbass.
Yeah, I don't know how the heck I actually did that.
You forgot the question, dumbass. Wasn't he like supposed to be asking something?
God. I hate you so much.
I think we're going to leave that part now.
Oh god.